Yo, what is going on, guys? So I'm back with another Traxxas comparison. The last time I compared a two-wheel drive Raptor versus the four-wheel drive Raptor R. Well, today I'm going to be comparing these two, which these two are pretty similar to each other. Well, not really, but the same drivetrain. So today we're going to be comparing the Rustler 4x4 bl-2s versus the Stampede 4x4 bl-2s. To know, I just have the VXL body on there, but this is the bl-2s version, so I just like this body better. But anyways, without further ado, let's get started and see which one is the better option. Alright, so now let's talk about both the Stampede 4x4 bl-2s and the Rustler 4x4 bl-2s. Now these are very different from each other. Even though they have the same drivetrain, they are pretty much different from each other. So the thing that's different is the Stampede is a monster truck. This is more of like a race truck, kind of like speed and, overall higher, velocity. So yeah, this Stampede, I mean, they both have the same drivetrain, but speed could be different due to the Stampede being heavier, having the new sledgehammer tires compared to the Rustler. The current tires I have on my Rustler is the Proline Balance. Those work very well. But in terms of speed, they're very similar to each other. But when you actually go to speed test them, the Rustler may be about 1, 2, or 3 miles an hour faster, because it's a much lighter truck and a much lighter all-around basher. So yeah, this one is towards like off-roading, towards like higher jumps, because you have the extra ground clearance compared to the Rustler, which is a lot lower to the ground. So in terms of jumping, I think the Stampede is going to get that done much faster. But if you're looking in terms of speed, I think the Rustler is going to be a little bit faster, not by much, but it is a lot more faster. So yeah, but overall these trucks are very similar to each other on how they perform, on their shocks. The Ultra shocks kind of suck, so I did upgrade their shocks, which I will show you guys in a minute. But yeah, I'm gonna take off the bodies on both of these and let's take a look on the inside. Alright, so after taking the bodies off on both vehicles, let's take a look at it. So first off, the Stampede, as you can see, there's your bl-2s, your motor and everything. And both of these come with the extreme heavy duty kit, which if you don't know what that is, these are these blue parts right here. So heavy duty shock towers on both of them, heavy duty caster blocks, steering knuckles and everything. And yeah, these both have very good suspension. Now these are not stock suspension, by the way. These are the OG RC shocks I got on Amazon. They're both the same shocks on both vehicles because I love them so much. I actually just upgraded to the same shocks as on the Stampede on the Rustler. So I think they look great. The red with the blue really matches, and they are nice and plush. So yeah, little tongue twister there, but yep, these shocks are adjustable, so you can adjust them to your ride height or any height that you want. And as you can see, I did install the light kit on both of them, so it basically runs off of this Traxxas accessory power, the 3-volt. And yeah, I have it, see, rear lights and also front lights. This one has lights on the front bumper and on top of the body too. So yeah, but overall in terms of length, they look pretty much similar in length, actually. Maybe the Rustler is, no, actually, they're just about the same length. Chassis looks a little different though. This one has a lot more of a longer chassis than this one, and this one's also wider, so. Yeah, but I love the bl-2s system on here. Look at those arms. They are huge. So yeah, the extreme heavy duty kit is really good. And your battery tray And the battery I recommend running on both of these are the Traxxas 2S 7600 and the Proline Batlins, and the Sledgehammer tires are both good. Sledgehammer are meant for Stampede, Proline Batlins are meant for the Rustler. And actually, by the way, they are both 12mm hex. So if you're looking for tires, keep that in note. So yeah, but the bl-2s system, it actually, guys, I was running earlier on the Rustler on the 2S 7600. I fully killed the battery and I touched the motor and it wasn't even hot. And because it has an integrated cooling fan. So yeah, but as you can see, that is the inside of both of them and what they look like. All right, so now let's talk about handling. So handling, I would have to say the Rustler handles much better than the Stampede 4x4 brushless. So yeah, I do have an upgraded servo on here. I think it's the 35 kilogram Power Hobby servo in there. Works absolutely great. It's not the fastest servo, but it has the highest torque of any servo. So yeah, that servo really works well on this. But in terms of handling, I think the Rustler is going to get the job way faster. Because since it's a lighter vehicle, it's smaller, it has smaller tires. You can't fit the Sledgehammer tires in the Rustler, but I think that'll look a little weird since it's a little big. So yeah, but obviously the Rustler is going to handle better. This one has my Rustler currently has the 2056 servo in there, and this one has the 35 kilogram Power Hobby servo. So yeah, still stock servo on this one, but still works very good. And the Power Hobby servo on this thing, it's a really good servo. It's a really smooth servo. It's a brushless servo. Well, is it a brushless servo? I don't remember if it's brushless or not, but yeah, I do know that it does have metal gears, you know, and 7.4 volts really get you going. So it's a really good servo. So in terms of handling, you know, Rustler is obviously better, like I said, but also depends on which kind of servo you get, because that does affect the steering speed and the amount of power. So yeah, the more torque a servo has, the more power you have. So when you're taking that corner, you know, it's gonna, you know, use all of the power from that torque from that servo to turn the wheels. But in terms of buying a servo, if you guys are going out buying a servo for like the Stampede, the Rustler, or any other RC car, I recommend you check your tires first. Your tires are probably the most important thing when getting a new servo. And why do I say that? Is because depending on tire size, the more bigger tires, like an X-Max tire, these Sledgehammer tires, XRT tires, any tires that are big, in terms of Traxxas, I think I would recommend for like an XRT or X-Max 2085X servo. But in terms of this, I think the Power Hobby servo works very good, the 35 kilogram. I actually do recommend that for bigger tires because you need that torque to turn those big tires. But on this Rustler, I think a 2075X should do just fine. 2075R, regular 2075. Any servo between like, I don't know, like 100 to 200 ounces of torque, I think it should be just fine. Because the Rustler doesn't need that high torque. You know, it needs, you know, that speed compared to this, which does need high torque because it needs to turn these huge Sledgehammer tires. They're not belted, by the way, which I wish Traxxas wouldn't done. I don't know why they didn't make the Sledgehammer belted, but I don't think 2S need belted anyways. But yeah, overall in terms of handling, Rustler is better. Okay, so now to my personal opinion. Which one is a better buy? And I would have to say it just comes down to personal preference. In my opinion, though, I think I like the Rustler a little bit more because it handles better than the Stampede. But it just depends on my day. So some day, if I'm just going out, ripping up and down the street, then I would choose the Rustler. But if I'm going for bigger jumps, if I'm going for, you know, more off-road action, then I would pick the Stampede. Why? Is because it has a higher ground clearance, has bigger tires, so it can go over those terrain a lot easier than the Rustler. The Rustler can still go over just fine. They're both 4x4 vehicles, but it just depends, you know, on what kind of terrain you're driving on. If you're driving on big rocks and stuff, I don't think the Rustler is going to get over at all. Because due to the ground clearance, the Rustler is, you know, pretty low to the ground. And The Stampede has a high ground clearance, so I know it's gonna make over those rocks much easier. And with these bigger sledgehammer tires and higher ground clearance, I think it's just gonna get the job done a lot more faster. So yeah, and I do recommend the Proline Battling tires on the Rustler. These work very well. I tested them out earlier. The grip was amazing. They didn't slide or slip as much as the Talon EXC tire, which is a stock tire that comes with the Rustler. So yeah, but don't get mistaken. If you see the title, the thumbnail, don't mistaken this for a VXL. I just have the VXL body under it because I think it looks cooler than the blue and red of the bl-2s, which I don't know if you guys saw that body yet. It doesn't look the greatest to me. So yeah, and I also put the light kit on here. I put it on both of them. On the Stampede though, the thing to know when you buy the light kit, it advertises it as a Haas 4x4 VXL light kit because this is pretty much a Haas with a Stampede body and the extreme heavy duty kit, because since the Haas got discontinued, the Stampede 404 kind of override it. So yeah, I really recommend the shocks, the OGRC shocks, and yeah, the light kit as well. So the tires, these tires you can keep stock on the Stampede because they're the sledgehammer tires and they have very good traction and the treads on these are amazing. But on the Rustler tires though, I recommend you upgrade them. So the two most important things to upgrade on both of these are the tires and the shocks first. So if you want to upgrade the servo, you can in the future. But yeah, shocks and tires are the most important. Tires, depending on which tire you choose, and that's how much grip you're going to get. And shocks, I already bent the original shock, the Ultra shocks on my Stampede when bashing last time at that RC event. If you guys haven't watched that video yet, go watch it. But yeah, when I went home to check my Ultra shock, it was bad. So Ultra shocks are not the greatest. These OG RC shocks have way bigger, springs and upgraded, aluminum parts and everything. I just love these shocks way better. So yeah, that's all about the comparison video between these two. Hopefully I laid out all the information that I possibly can for you guys to make a purchase decision on your own. And speaking of purchasing decision, these both are the same price, $329.99, which is a very good starting price for a beginner who wants to get into RC. So yeah, definitely recommend both of them. But I think the winner by the end of the day of this video is going to be the Rustler in my opinion. But obviously that's a personal preference. Some people like the Rustler better, some people like the Stampede. So yeah, that's all about this review, or not review, comparison. So I'm getting mixed up, guys, because those Nerf videos are kind of messing with my head. So yeah, but overall, that's all about this. See, I almost said it again. Comparison. So yeah, that's all about this comparison. And yeah, without further ado, that's all about this video. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Peace.